Well, Shelly, thank you for having. Thank you for coming over. And,
thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, thank you. I really like your channel, and but you also have a new twist on your channel, which I like very much. Like you do a little bit of makeup, and then I really like your shorts of where you do recreate the covers. How did you come up with that idea?
I'll get it. Let me get this one. I bought this book, and my friend Fraser was like, "Are you gonna do the famous Instagram photo where you put this in front and you recreate the pose?" And then I thought, I can do one better. And so I tried to do the actual face, because I knew that Hanya Yanagihara took a lot of inspiration from this photographer and from this photo for the character of Jude. And so I knew that the photograph had significant meaning. And so I think that there is something to say to, like, for artists to recreate, to copy. And so I was like, I think I can do that face and that pose. So I tried, and then it was so much fun. I just kept doing it.
Yeah, it works really well, I guess.
Yeah. No? Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's mostly like the I do when you is a creative outlet. It's just for fun. So if it's not fun anymore, I stop doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, how else? And the community aspect of it keeps it, engaging. So it's like other people are like, that's cool, I like it. With it, whatever you do, they like something, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to keep going with it then. I'm going to try something else. Yeah.
And when did you start?
Almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in June, I think.
And what made you begin your own channel?
Let's see, I started watching Gina Stanier. Gina was shouted out by a beauty makeup reviewer. She was shouted out by someone I follow. And so I started following Gina's channel. Pretty quickly I found Steve, and then I started thinking, I can do that. I can turn on a camera and talk.
If Steve can, everybody can.
It's so true. It's so true, because he's like, and he has the right mindset, He's just like, why are you stressing about, X, Y, and he's like, don't stress. He has that attitude. I can really get in my own head. And so I think if I started with a different community or with different booktubers, I would have started with a different mindset. But his mindset is just like, I'm talking to my imaginary booktube friends and I'm having fun. And so I'm like, me too.
But aren't you a librarian in real life?
I am. In real life, I teach school, but I have my degree in library science. I just haven't found, not that I haven't looked too hard for library work, but that's really what I'm trained in, to do library stuff. So
you would be reading too much to be in a library.
I know. And really, like, librarians, they just organize information and tell you how to search it, essentially. So it's like reading is not really, it's like the lower level things that you do. And so I'm like, I think I actually get more time to read as a teacher to spread that. But I mean, not opposed to it. It's just, yeah.
What is mostly the genre that you read, that you really enjoy?
Oh gosh. I think I like everything to be literary fiction. And I think that if it has that twist to it, so if it's historical fiction, but it's literary, I like it. If it's a mystery, but a literary mystery, I like it. But when it starts to get sort of away from the language and the structure of sort of artistic, then I start to get very bored. And actually, I noticed that because I was reading with you, actually, right before that, I started To Find Balance, and by Rohinton Mystery, and I just was having a hard time getting into it because I thought it was going too fast. It was too quick. And then I picked up the Goldfinch, and I was like, I love this because it's so slow and juicy. It's so good, you know? So
Really looking forward to start a little secret.
I know, yeah, that's gonna be great. And then she only has 3 books.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Because you read everything. It's almost like, so it's like, where do you lean towards in your literary reading life? Because whenever I watch a video of yours, it's like you read everything.
No. I don't read fantasy, for instance. I don't like fantasy at all. Huge world building, I don't care. And science fiction with a lot of world building, I don't care. I like science fiction, but it has to be really simple in the sense that it can't be too technical. And I Who Have Never Known Men, that's really simple. It is more of a bigger question novel than science fiction, but it is science fiction. Or those are things, and especially when it's about people alone trying to survive, then I really like it. And then it can be science fiction or whatever, or like The Wall is also science fiction, which is my favorite novel ever. And yeah, that's science fiction without being really science fiction. And I like, of course, literary fiction. I like to find the odd and the weird and the things that don't get much attention on BookTube. But it's difficult because I have to buy everything myself, because I can't rely on my library, because we only have books in Dutch. And so, yeah, I can't, all the English spoken books I have to buy either secondhand or new, so that becomes very expensive as a booktuber, and I don't make any money with it, so I have to be creative. And also, I read also other fiction that I don't even talk about on BookTube because it isn't translated, so it doesn't make sense to talk about it.
Yeah. Do you think that there's an audience, like a Dutch speaking audience out there that you could tap into, or like that you could?
Yeah, maybe, but for more popular fiction, not for what I read. I don't read much popular fiction. So I tried it, and I did like 20 videos, and I had 7 followers, and I couldn't care. That for 7 followers, I don't do it.
No.
Because I know you have to have feedback, and so even now, it's still, it took me a long time, at least almost 100 videos before I got to 100 followers.
Wow.
So yeah, it took me a whole lot of time. But I think it's also because people have to get used to the way I talk, because my English isn't perfect. I know that. It isn't bad, but it isn't perfect. And so people have to get used to it. And some don't like that. So yeah, they're lost, but it happens.
Yes, absolutely. And we have, you and I have an enemy in common, Pauline Hoover.
Oh, horrible. But hey, you know, as long as people are reading, it's okay. And sometimes, you know, when I was like 13, 14, I also read Gonzalez and Harold Robbins and those other things that aren't very literary either. And so it doesn't matter. You can evolve. And whenever you're reading, it's a good thing.
Right.
But don't stick in the Colleen Hoover genre.
I know, because I'm like, there's so many really rich and rewarding reads beyond that genre, beyond that like very narrow genre. So I mean, I've benefited benefited a lot, and I'm sure you have as well, just being on BookTube and hearing recommendations from other people that I would have never heard of ever, or never prioritized. Like I would have never prioritized it either.
No, but that's the advantage of being on YouTube. The audience is very international. And so people from Romania, from Azerbaijan, from Morocco, they send their favorite novels and you can read them. And those are the best tips ever.
Yes.
So yeah, it's wonderful to have such a large audience, and they bring you their richness of their culture too. And you, thanks to books, you can travel all over the world and yeah, really learn to know the people even more so than you go to those places and be a tourist. Because when you're a tourist, you're in a bubble in a way. And when you read, you really are amongst the culture. So I really like that.
Yeah, yeah. You can say hi. I've got
hi.
All right, go with Daddy. Go. Are you going to show her your fish?
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful fish.
Oh. This is my house. This is the stuff I usually cut out. Like,
with kids, I never will. A dull moment.
No, I'm so busy all the time. So, yeah.
So, yeah, what are your plans for your channel?
I don't have any.
No?
No, I don't know what to do.
Just having fun.
Yeah, it's just having fun. I have like low-key little things that I want to do. I've been really enjoying the ancient, like I read Antigone, finished it yesterday. And I think that often there's a mindset that, you know, that work is not, I think for some readers, they think that's too hard or that's not written for me. And I find those reads very rewarding. And so I would love to do, you know, little things like a series of videos about something, you know, but like, I don't, what about you? What do you have plans for?
Maybe do a little, even one video a week more, maybe, and or more subjects like that, like I did a couple of times already, where I talk about women in literature, or who is the real Elena Ferrante.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so stuff like that. I want to, but those ideas have to come to you. So it's really difficult sometimes to find something interesting to talk about. And I didn't want to talk about the Roald Dahl thing because everybody was talking about it. So, and I knew that it was more of sort of a PR stunt than anything else, because they won't really do what they said they would do. So, yeah. So, but I would like to do more of those things that are literature related, but more background information, which is sometimes very fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does. But if you're like, you know, I don't know how your process is. Mine is like, I get an idea, and then the moment if I think about it long enough, the moment I get a chance, I just sit down and talk about it.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
me too.
Yeah.
I don't prepare anything.
Me either. Very rarely. Or sometimes I'll organize, like I did like predicting the women's prize video. Like I have some sort of organization, so I'm at least trying to get curated for out. You know, these books are even eligible, but beyond that, it's just whatever I have on my mind, and then I just go with it. But I think that's the best.
So thank you. I have another guest coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy.
And
Steve is waiting. Oh gosh.
For coming over at my little party.
Oh yeah. Well, happy 1 year anniversary, right? 1 year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And,
tell Steve hi.
I
Well,
will-
mostly
Steve.
tell Frida. tell Frida I said hi.
Yeah, I will.
But